Let's say China.
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 There are no storm neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
You go over to China.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Trump tweeting out insults to Angela Merkel. What's he doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host.
Yes, hello. It is me, James Andrews, and you are listening to So This Happened, the only news you need if you have absolutely no access to BBC, CNN, PBS, NBC, MSNBC, Fox News, or any other news outlet. It's Wednesday, the 10th of May 2017, and I would like to start the day off going to Switzerland, where today... No, I am kidding. Of course we're not going to start in Switzerland. We're going to talk about the only thing that matters today, and that is, of course, the firing of FBI Director James Comey by President Donald Trump last night. And before we go any further, to set the scene, I want to read how the firing went down. This is from CNN, and I love it. It sounds like a Tom Clancy novel, very incandescent, very, very cool. So here we go. A little past 5 p.m. Tuesday, a black Ford Taurus slowed to a stop just outside FBI headquarters in Washington and dispatched a white-haired man in a dark suit. He emerged from the car alone, a manila folder in his right hand, and walked slowly toward the agency's appointment gate. Passers-by paid little notice, but Keith Schiller, President Donald Trump's pugnacious former bodyguard, who now sits sentry outside the Oval Office doors, was at the law enforcement agency armed with a bombshell message from his longtime boss to FBI Director James Comey. You are hereby terminated and removed from office. So that's how it went down. Pretty great, huh? Well, the reaction from everybody on this firing has been mixed, to say the least. Democrats on the left are calling it treason, outrageous. Republicans on the right saying it had to be done, well done Donald Trump. The reaction from the people that live here, just as mixed. We'll start off with some reaction from senators and congressmen about what they said yesterday and today about that. We're going to start off with Senator Richard Blumenthal.
To fire James Comey for his decisions regarding the Clinton emails some 10 months ago is absolutely laughable. Fails to pass any smell test.
Both
Senator
parties
Lindsey
at different
Graham
times have called for the dismissal of Mr. Comey. So this is not Watergate.
Nobody's been happy
Senator
with his
Rand
performance,
Paul.
and I think the Clinton investigation by any measure was very much politicized, and so I think it is time to take a new direction at the FBI, and I think the president's made a wise decision here.
The timing
Senator John
raises
Hogan.
some questions, and because of the interference by the Russians in our election. The idea that you take the person
Senator
who's got
Bill
every other
Cassidy.
responsibility, including the budget of the department, taking him away, and somehow it all falls apart, that's not how organizations work.
I don't believe the
Senator
system's been
Lindsey Graham,
compromised, but I
again.
do believe this. At different times, for different reasons, people ask for a new FBI director. Now they're going to get one.
There needs to be a
Blumenthal again.
special, independent prosecutor who can be insulated and protected from politics, conduct this investigation, and follow the evidence wherever it leads, even to the President of the United States.
And there you go. So the reaction on Capitol Hill, very mixed. And you can already see a very distinct line between the Democrats and the Republicans. Every Democrat saying we need to have an independent investigation now. All the Republicans saying, no, from time to time you need a new FBI director. And I do want to point out, because there has been a little bit of criticism on the Democrats' part of hypocrisy. And, well, no, fuck it. Yeah, there was a little hypocrisy on the Democrats' point here. Chuck Schumer said recently that he'd lost confidence in James Comey. A number of Democrats have said, we have no confidence in James Comey, particularly with the way he handled Hillary Clinton's emails. Essentially, he tried her in public, convicted her in public, and then said, but we're not actually going to press any real charges. So the Democrats justifiably were angry with James Comey. Today, they're now saying, well, my God, how can you just fire? You can't fire James Comey, director. What a fine man. And, well, no, because, a week ago you didn't like him very much. And so a little hypocrisy, yeah, but it's Washington. What do you expect, right? But what I want to focus on right now, and this is where I put my tinfoil hat on because I'm going to get all conspiracy theorist now. The timing of firing the director of the FBI is suspicious at best. Now, the last director of the FBI to be fired was in 1993 by Bill Clinton. However, the circumstances were a little bit different. The director at the time had been through a very long trial for misconduct, and his firing came after he was found guilty by a number of parties. James Comey, yesterday, he was in LA, just hanging out, getting ready to do a speech. The next thing he knows, by watching television, by the way, is that he was fired. So that's a fucked up way to fire someone, Donald. Whoever they are, find out on television. Thanks a lot, mate. Lovely. But the timing of it is very weird, very suspicious. And we know that the Trump administration is under investigation by the FBI for possible collusion with Russia during the run-up and the election in 2016. That's a fact. That's been proven that Russia interfered with it. The FBI are determining if there is any criminal responsibility. James Comey is in charge of that. He's the big dog. He was, I suppose. He's not anymore. Now he's a little poodle. But he was the big dog. And he's massive, by the way. He's 6'8". He's huge. He's like a basketball player, I think. No, basketball players are tall. Well, he's like a small basketball player. Like a tall, normal person, but a short basketball player. And so now, the part comes when I get really conspiracy theory. Let's have a look at James Comey's career. September 2013, he was appointed as director of the FBI by Barack Obama. In July 2016, during the run-up to the election, Hillary Clinton gave a voluntary interview to the FBI about her email arrangements. Now, on July 15th, Comey said that the FBI investigation could not find a case that would support bringing criminal charges. It was laid to rest by everybody except Donald Trump and the Republicans at that point. Then, in October 28th to be precise, 11 days before the presidential election, Comey released a statement that the FBI would reopen the previously closed investigation into Hillary Clinton. Hillary and many Democrats are blaming this on Hillary losing the election. In November 16th, 8 days after the election, Comey issued a statement saying that there was nothing else found and no criminal charges would be brought. All was then quiet, except for a lot of Democrats moaning and a lot of Republicans celebrating. And then in May 3rd of this year, 2017, Comey went before the Senate Judiciary Committee again to defend his decision to announce that he was reopening the Clinton investigation back in October of 2016. He made some claims that one of the reasons they reopened it was they found thousands of potentially classified emails on the computer. Now, on May 9th, Comey, or the FBI more accurately, sent a letter to Congress saying, look, James Comey made a few mistakes in his testimony to you. The fact that he said there were thousands of potentially classified documents was false. There was only a very small amount and, nothing really to note. And then on the evening of May 9th, yesterday, Donald Trump fired Director Comey. And the reason he gave for firing Director Comey, this is absolutely priceless, is that he was dissatisfied with the way he handled himself by saying there were more Clinton emails than there really were. Huh? What? Right? I mean, Donald Trump firing someone because they were too mean to Hillary Clinton? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, does it? So that argument, that's the reason he gave for firing Comey. Most Democrats and most people who, have ever read a Donald Trump tweet are saying, yeah, that's total bullshit, mate. There is no way you would be firing someone because they did something that was a bit nasty to that nasty woman, Hillary Clinton. Right? So this all gets very, very confusing. Now, it was also leaked today by CNN. The White House have denied this claim, but CNN said that they talked to somebody who said that James Comey went to the Justice Department just last week to ask them for more money so that he could complete this Russian collusion investigation. Well, to fire James Comey, there has to be a reason given by the Justice Department. So the Justice Department said to Donald Trump, yeah, go ahead, fire him. Trump fires him. But what we're finding now is maybe the Justice Department had been approached by James Comey last week to ask for more money so he could complete the investigation into Russia. Yeah, is your head spinning? Because my head is just fucking spinning around and around and around. It's amazing. And then I'm going to get Trump Vader. He's been sitting outside this whole time because he's got a tweet that he wants to read because he says it's for everybody. And I think it's probably a good time for Trump Vader to read that tweet. So let me go grab him. Trump Vader, come on in, mate. Yeah, come on in. How are you doing? Okay, so Trump Vader is here, and it's very obvious that he does not want to exchange any pleasantries at all. He just wants to get straight to his tweet. So, ladies and gentlemen, Trump Vader. Oh, Trump Vader, stop! What the hell were you doing? You were tweeting. You were just speaking in Russian. Oh my God. Okay, he wants to do it again. Oh, what? Is that because you had a meeting today with Russia? Oh no. Well, here's okay. You better do it in English. Go on.
Comey lost the confidence of almost everyone in Washington, Republican and Democrat alike. When things calm down, they will be thanking me.
Oh, do you think so? Do you think everybody is going to be thanking you soon for this? Well, it depends, Trump Vader, on who you pick as Comey's replacement. Because that's going to say a lot, who you pick. Is it going to be someone who we all know is very friendly to you, or is it going to be someone who's very bipartisan? The eyes of the world are upon you, my friend. Anyway, he did it, so let's give him a round of applause, because he loves it, as you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, Trump Vader. Oh, that is brutal. He is very unhappy. Oh, he just stuck his fingers up at you, and he's off. Oi! Don't you slam the door, you little fucker! No, don't do that again! What a little grumpy bastard he is. Okay, so let me compose myself after that. Okay, and now let's get back to the conspiracy theories. Today, Trump met a few people, and the first person he met was, wait for it, Henry Kissinger. Yep, yeah, that Henry Kissinger of Nixon fame. You cannot write this shit. You really can't. It's spectacular. And then shortly after his meeting with Kissinger, Trump had another meeting in the Oval Office, and this time it was with the Russian Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov. Now, the press, or should I say the US press, were not allowed into this meeting. It does seem, however, that the Russian press were invited, as photographs of the meeting showed up shortly after on a Russian news website. Now, there was a little bit of a surprise, because not only was Sergei Lavrov in this meeting, but also Sergei Kislyak. Yes, that Sergei, the one at the centre of the FBI investigation from which James Comey was just fired from. That dude. And then Vladimir Putin talked about Comey being fired wearing full hockey gear, which I suppose is a step up from being, topless on a horse. But it's still fucking weird, isn't it? And then before I go, I just want to make note of something. I threw a little survey up on Twitter this morning to find out who the next FBI director was going to be. Donald Trump's promised it's going to be someone great. So my 3 choices for this were the Kush, Jared Kushner, Beavis, which would be that elephant murdering fuck Eric Trump, and his older brother Butthead, or Donald Trump Jr. So far, the Kush has 50%. Beavis, Eric Trump, is just at 13%. Sorry, Eric, you twat. Daddy still doesn't love you, you see. And bringing it up with 38% is Butthead, or Donald Trump Jr. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with Beavis and Butthead, Google Beavis and Butthead and Eric and Donald Trump Jr. and you will never get that image out of your head. Anyway, we are done for the day. Thank you so much for listening. It was a bit of a spinny, mind-blowing episode. It was probably a little discombobulated and didn't make a huge amount of sense, but you try and sort this shit out in 15 minutes. Go on, I dare you. Anyway, you can always follow me on Twitter at SoThisHappened, and if you like what we're doing, subscribe, iTunes, Google Play, wherever you're listening, and tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell whoever you want, your mum, your dad, and I will chat with you tomorrow. Thanks. Good night.